What is up? Top of mind selling, my people. I realized it had been a while since I had done a live video directly in this group. And so here I am, Friday morning, a week from Christmas, and I have been getting so much feedback from my post last week about passive branding. And so I guess this, we oftentimes, we treat things as common that are normal to us, but other people are like, whoa, wow, oh my gosh. And this is what happened with passive branding. Passive branding is something that I've done for a while, and I talk about it in classes, but a lot of people haven't got to sit in one of those classes. And so I wanted to kind of break down for you guys the value of passive branding, right? So passive branding, what this was derived from is it is a way to sell without making people feel sold to. Hey, Dewana, good to see you. Thanks for watching. All right, that's what passive branding is. It is a way for me to sell myself without having to just overtly sell, right? And so I was thinking through this morning, like, what are the big four? Because I'm working on a class for passive branding because people's feedback has just been so great. And so I've been thinking about what I would teach, how I would do it, right? And this is what I've begun to come up with, right? The first thing that passive branding does is it allows you to kind of covert sell. It allows you to be kind of in undercover sales mode because you can remind people about what you do for a living. You can remind people about what you did today. You can remind people about what happened yesterday, but you can wrap it around a story or something you learned or whatever it might be, right? And so you get to covertly sell. So for those of you that really just love sales, that you want to be in sales mode all the time, this is how you can do it. Because guys, I'm telling you, we frustrate people so much when all we know how to talk about is our business, right? We've got to get a little bit deeper with people, which we'll jump into in a minute. And so I love that in passive branding, right, I can say, guys, I was on a coaching call with one of my clients yesterday when blank happened. And I just reminded you that I was coaching someone. You could say, guys, I'm sitting in the driveway of a home I just finished showing and blank happened, right? So you're reminding people you're a realtor. You're in the driveway of a home that you just showed to some buyers, right? Because guys, remember this. People know what you do. They just forget you exist. Because for most of you, you either don't post enough. For some of you, you post only about business stuff, so you've become such white noise to people. And then for some of you, you're so fearful of all of that stuff, you just do nothing. And so our people don't forget what we do. They forget we exist. And so if we are naive enough to think that they're just going to remember us, right? Oh man, everybody knows what I do. Everybody knows I'm a realtor. Guys, people's lives are crazy. People's lives are busy. People's lives are full of chaos. And so if we think that because 8 months ago we had coffee with a friend, and so now we're first in line, you're not. Because when that moment of need arises, they're going to end up on social media that day, and they're going to come across one of their friends, and even though that might be their third favorite friend, even though you were number one, that person happened to be right where they needed to be in that moment, and that happened, right? And so let me break right here. So Dewana, to what you're saying, how am I doing? Here's what I would say, and we've never even met in person, right? So I'm speaking solely from the eye test of what I can see. My my only encouragement to you would be, I think you make your real estate content fun. You make your real estate content enjoyable. But all I ever see from you is real estate content. And I think this is where, guys, we miss it. Because if you look at the timeline, the sales cycle in real estate, right? Somebody needs a house every 7 years, every 5 years. And so if our goal is to just have new clients, then yeah, we should only be talking about real estate. But if our goal is also to get repeat clients and get referrals, but not just one referral, 10 referrals, we've got to stay in front of people for the right reasons, because the person that you sold a house to 6 months ago, they don't give a crap about your real estate content because they just bought a house 6 months ago. So this is why the value is in expanding that and getting into more opportunity than just real estate. All right. And so this is where we start. All right. So passive branding allows us to do covert selling. The second thing that it allows us to do is it forces us to put value first. Because now, if Coach Kyle, if Realtor Jonathan becomes the passive part of the video, well, that means now we actually have to use our brains a little bit harder and come up with genuine content. We've got to come up with genuine ways to create value for people, because it's so easy to just hide behind what we do, right? It'd be so easy for me to just hide behind giving social media tips, and like that's all I do all day, right? It'd be so easy to do that. But when I force myself to start leveraging passive branding, now I've got to get a little bit deeper with my content and open it up a little bit. And so that's a huge piece to this. The third part is one of my favorite parts, is you never run out of content. Guys, hear me. Let me get in a little bit closer for this part. The reason so many of you struggle with content is because you don't know how to talk about anything other than real estate or mortgage, right? And so because of that, you know, deep down inside, you've got a subconscious, right? You know that, man, who really wants to watch this? Listen to yourself, right? Because the answer is not as many people as you would hope, because they want more. And so when we realize that when you own your business, right? All of us, we're business owners. We eat what we kill. And so what that means is that you're not just selling a product, you're not just selling a service, you're also selling a person. Because there's a million realtors out there, which means they've got plenty of people to choose from, which means they're going to choose you for far more than just the accolades that you have inside of our industry. There's 1,000 social media experts. There's 1,000 companies that do marketing, right? So if somebody's going to choose me, it's going to go deeper than just, I thought the proposal looked good. They're investing in me, in my knowledge, in my heart, in my character, in my integrity, and the same is true for you. So when we start leveraging passive branding, it opens up what we have confidence in talking about. Because now you can do a video in the carpool lane. And then you can also reference where you just came from. Hey guys, I wanted to jump on while I'm waiting for little Susie, and I wanted to talk about whatever, right? And now you're combining business person with mom, with dad, right? This is the power of passive branding. Okay? Now, Jonathan, this is a great question. Do you dare to be authentic even if it raises eyebrows? With this question, right, I'm assuming that in this authenticity you speak of, we would be talking about potential issue topics, right? So we may be talking about politics, religion, race, right? Any of the big ones that tend to be fire starters for people. The only thing I'm going to tell you, right? I just want all of us to understand. I used to just be anti, like, don't talk about that kind of stuff on social media, ever, period. But here's where I've kind of transitioned to. You just have to know that if you publicly align for or against the president, right? You are potentially cutting your audience in half, because we live in a world where people would say, oh, you hate the president? I'll never work with you. You love the president? I'll never work with you, right? Like, we don't have the maturity to go, oh, you believe differently than me? No big deal. We don't have to agree on everything, right? I have so many friends that agree differently than I. Like, we do not agree on certain subjects. Who cares? Who cares? I have friends that are atheists. I love Jesus so much. That doesn't make me love them less or trust them less, right? So you have to know personally, do I feel passionately enough about something that I'm okay with losing some people, right? That was a line that I had to draw with my relationship with Christ. Because early on in my career, people used to always say, Kyle, you cannot make it on the speaking circuit talking about God. It just doesn't work, man. It offends people. And I had to make this decision and say, you know what? It's worth it to me. Now, politics, it's not worth it. You will never see me talk publicly on Facebook Live or on Instagram about politics. It's just not worth it to me because people are too divisive. Again, I love everybody. I don't care who you voted for. I don't care what your stances are on all the different things, but a lot of people do. And so you just have to know the cost of what you're considering doing, right? What I don't want is for you to go off on something, it offends a bunch of people, and you're like, man, I can't believe that happened. I already told you, right? So just know. So now, Jonathan, lastly, you can talk about some of those things, but be polite and authentic in the way that you do it, right? There's a difference between me disagreeing on a stance and calling people that are the opposite of me morons or idiots, right? So I think we can. I think this is why I can talk about Jesus and I don't offend anybody because of the way that I communicate. I'm not trying to shove my relationship with God down people's throats. I'm not trying to use the Bible to prove to people how wrong they are. I'm simply living out my personal relationship. And I think that's why it sits well with people. So, food for thought, just some things for you to think about. The last thing, guys, the most important part. People can connect to your heart. Guys, this is what we're missing in sales. I believe this is what we're missing. I believe that this is the difference in people using you once and people referring you 10 times over. Because we don't connect with people's hearts. We can tell people that we care about them. We can say in our business, it's not about transactions, it's about people, but actions speak louder than words. And so if we have not figured out how to connect to people's hearts, I believe that they are on a ticking clock to leaving us behind. Right? We are on borrowed time with people when all we think our advantage is that our service is better. It's not. Someone's going to come along with a better service, a cheaper service, a faster service. And so if you don't possess an intangible, if I haven't figured out how to align myself, how to tether my heart to other people, they will quickly move away from me to the next best thing in their mind. And so guys, this is the power. This is why most of my content has nothing to do with what I literally do for a living. I think I've maybe done 2 videos ever that are about content compounding. Because if that's all I did, nobody would care, right? And so people are getting to see it slowly, But what they're getting to see more is Kyle, the guy that loves Jesus, is Kyle the dad, Kyle the husband, right? Kyle, the guy that loves leadership, the guy that's listening to podcasts and reading books and educating his people and being authentic and telling stories about where I failed. Those are the ways that we truly change the way we interact with people. Guys, I just signed up a client who makes up multiple offices across the state of Texas. They do $120 million in revenue a year. And the VP yesterday sent me an email and said, hey, I need you to make a video speaking directly to our executive team, right? All the C levels in our $120 million in revenue company a year. And I want you to talk them through the power and the value of content compounding. And guys, here's what I'm going to tell them. And this is what you've got to figure out how to do for you, right? That it's so easy to just talk about our stuff, right? That this company's an insurance company. It's so easy to just talk about the different products we offer and how you can bundle a bunch of your stuff together for savings. And if you've never considered life insurance, you should think about it. And if you've never considered this or that, you should think about it, right? And you can do this with houses, and you never get the depth from people. And so my pitch to these executives will be, guys, right? Like, y'all are great at what you do. And it's so easy to keep what y'all do in front of people. But what we need to do is we need to shed light on the culture of this place. We need to shed light on why people would want to work here, which is also going to make people want to invest their energy there and leverage you guys for their policies and whatnot. This is how we open up with people. And so this is what we've got to do. Now, again, the beautiful part of how all of this works, right, is there's a million ways to skin a cat. There's a million ways to find success. But I'm telling you right now, most of the people that you view as competitors are strictly trying to be a better realtor than you. That's it. So you want to beat them? Go where they're unwilling to go. And go deep. Go deep with people. Leverage passive branding. This is what it's all about. And Jonathan, you're right. Guys, the reason, again, most people don't do this is because of this word right here. Talking about business. Is safe. Talking about business is safe. It's so easy, right? There's no potential for condemnation. There's little opportunity for somebody to disagree because it's just business, right? It's mostly based in fact. Here's a house that I'm showing, right? Like there's nothing that can be said against that. But the minute I live out my faith on Facebook Live, well, now I'm giving people the opportunity to come against me. But guys, guess what? That rarely happens. And when it does, it's okay. Right? It is a lot to really think deep and go a little bit further. If you are already feeling like you're starting to do a good job of this, don't be satisfied there. What can you do to take it to the next level? What's that one thing, right, that you've been saying no to because it's uncomfortable? And this is the end. I just got a new bracelet. Pursue discomfort. This is how I try to live my life, right? In pursuing the things that naturally I want to give the Heisman to, right? That naturally I want to go, whoa, 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 no. That's uncomfortable. I'm not down with that. That's where I'm trying to run towards. And I believe it's going to help 2021 be the greatest year of my professional career ever. And also of my personal life. Because of the way I live it out on social media. So, I hope this has been helpful. If you guys have questions, put them in the comments, reach out to me, because this is it, man. This is the key. I'm telling you, this is the key to doubling your income in 2021, right? You guys are already good enough at the business part. Now it's time to add the hard part, which is this. I love y'all. If I don't talk to you before, have a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. I'm sure I'm going to see you guys on social media, but y'all are incredible. Dewan, I'll give you a call. Bye, guys.